Now invite Liat to address her class.
When I was 6 years old, I told my family two things: that I was never going to eat anything with a face again, and that I was going to be a doctor. And here I stand today, a longtime vegan graduating from medical school. Before I even knew what it really meant to be a physician, there was an overwhelming sense in my gut that medicine was my calling. I know that this is a sensation that many of my classmates experienced as well. I had a clear vision of what I thought being a doctor would be like. I would walk into work each day with a huge smile on my face and spend as much time as I needed to with each of my patients. I would have a strong relationship and deep connection with all those in my care, and they would follow my advice regarding what was best for their health. As a physician, I would change people's lives for the better. Fast forward 20 years, and here we all are today about to receive our medical degrees. The amount of information we've crammed into our heads over the past 4 years is unfathomable. We've all witnessed and experienced how sleep deprivation and struggling to maintain a healthy work-life balance makes it difficult for even the most positive person to always keep a smile on his or her face. We now understand that the amount of time that doctors can spend with their patients is unfortunately quite restricted for reasons outside of our control. I personally have come to the shocking realization that patients are not always going to listen to me when I tell them they should stop eating junk food and start exercising more. The years that we have spent in medical school have been more challenging than most of us could have ever imagined, and we know that the upcoming years of training will be even more so. Despite this, and the fact that the reality of being a doctor is not quite as idyllic as I initially envisioned, as I stand here today, I know wholeheartedly that medicine was the right path for me. In all honesty, there have been times when I have felt envious of people my age who are not in medicine, who I feel are light years ahead of me in regards to progressing in their careers, earning a decent salary, and starting families. We brand new doctors have years of training, paying off mountains of debt, and feeling chronically sleep deprived ahead of us. And the challenges don't exactly end once training is over. This prospect has worried me in the past, and I have wondered if I made the right decision in entering this field that places such enormous demands on an individual. I certainly am not the only person in this room who has felt this way. The lives of others are directly impacted by the decisions doctors make and actions they take on a daily basis. Patients disclose their most personal information to their doctors and trust that their doctors will always know how to alleviate their suffering. Sometimes physicians have to tell their patients that whatever is causing their suffering cannot be cured. Doctors carry a level of responsibility that is almost inconceivable. I have spent a lot of time reflecting on these feelings of uncertainty and have come to embrace the notion that yes, the burdens we carry and sacrifices we make to be physicians are substantial. However, the rewards that we simultaneously reap far outweigh these burdens and sacrifices. As doctors, we have the privilege of caring for people through both health and sickness. We have the incredible honor of sharing in the joy of births and serve the vitally important role of comforting patients and their families as the end of life approaches. We partake in research that strives to improve our understanding of health and disease so that people may live longer and better. We are educators who impart our knowledge and skill set to future generations of physicians so that they too can become healers. We are leaders who have the potential to inspire change on an enormous scale for the betterment of humanity. These are worthy reasons to get out of bed every morning. Though medicine is an imperfect science, its goal is, always has been, and always will be to help others. Though we may often feel tired, frustrated, and overwhelmed, at the end of the day, we can rest assured that our efforts matter and are indeed contributing to making this world a better place. This calling provides a sense of purpose and fulfillment that is not to be underappreciated. Albert Einstein said, "Only a life lived in the service of others is worth living." The Dalai Lama said, "The important thing is that men should have a purpose in life. It should be something useful and something good." As doctors, I think we are doing justice to the words of these wise men. On this journey, I have met some remarkable physicians. I worked with doctors in Israel who volunteer their services to perform hundreds of surgeries a year on children from around the world born with heart defects who would otherwise die in early childhood. One of my mentors here at Maryland put his own life in jeopardy to travel to West Africa to care for patients suffering from Ebola. A teacher of mine begins making rounds at 4 a.m. every day and has done so for the past 30 years to ensure that he can spend as much time as necessary with each of his patients. In my own experience as an anxious patient, the genuine concern, empathy, and patience of my doctor has shown me firsthand what it truly means to be a caring physician. These are but a few examples of doctors I have encountered who have exemplified what being an extraordinary physician is all about, and by witnessing their actions, they have instilled in me a powerful desire to emulate their incredible selflessness, compassion, and dedication. I have been similarly amazed by the devotion of my peers in their own pursuit of excellence in the field of medicine. There is no doubt in my mind that each of you, through your immense efforts and talents, will greatly impact the lives of others. And through the difficult times that inevitably lie before us, I encourage us all to always remember that vision that initially lit that fire inside of us and that brought us to where we are today. That vision may not always be the reality we experience, yet I trust that we will never be steered wrong if it's always the ideal that we strive for. Congratulations to everyone.